Well, 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 Mr. Schmidt, isn't it? Here comes the prodigal son. I thought you had been washed overboard. Please have a seat. I already heard that we have another guest today.
Several people are already sitting at the table together and chatting.
I will introduce the group briefly. I'm Hanno Kroger, captain of this venerable ship. The gentleman over there is my highly esteemed companion, Dr. Frederick Kalweg. And to my right, we have Mrs. Kirsten van Groot.
Moin.
Mine.
Bless you. Do you need a handkerchief, Schmutz?
You can respond to people with archetypal statements. The archetypes are tough, intellectual, and quirky. Your conversation partners react differently to your approach, depending on their own nature. A well-chosen statement can later benefit you and simplify communication.
Say, boy, have you ever hit your head really hard somewhere, somehow? I see you can't help that. Apart from that, I would like to express my deepest condolences and sympathy. I'm truly sorry for you that you have to be a Bavarian. Understood. We could use someone like you on the ship. Someone who takes charge. But tell me, what makes Bavaria worth living in? I don't understand. People are people. Something will always be missing in Bavaria.
The captain burps audibly.
Oh, Kirsten, your job can't be that hard. Just wiggle your... And so much time must be taken now. Perfect as around. And the tormented souls will hand you the cash. I'm just annoyed. Since these incompetent lads are in the crew, nothing works anymore. Only Piepenbrink is useful. I ordered him to lead the crew. They are all like women, almost useless. You always have to keep the door to my cabin locked, because everyone here is a horse before the Lord. Yes, a horse. Someone who can do anything and knows nothing. Are you also a horse, Schmidt? Are you a horse? Oh, come on, let's just find out right away. Tell me now, what do you call the front, back, left, and right on a ship? That's correct. And now tell me the following. What is grog? Yes, you too, you disgusting person. And now tell me the following. Kale is eaten with? Correct. You can also see it in your mind's eye, can't you? Delicious pickle. Well, now for something simple to relax. Everyone should actually know this. The 5 most important sailor's knots are clove hitch, sheep bend, figure 8 knot, reef knot, and... Correct! But that's also knowledge of young children. So, final question. Suppose you meet someone on the street in Hafstedt, and they say moin, then you respond with... That is one way to do it. And then... Correct! So now let's see if you are a horse. Yes, sailor, you've passed the test. You're officially not a horse. You can start working right away.
The captain burps audibly.
Tell me, Mr. Schmidt, what actually brings you to the north? If you're feeling stressed, I could help you. Maybe you should consider consuming opiates to calm the mind. Ah, you're familiar with this topic. That's delightful.
My boy, you can rely on Colwick. Whether you're stressed or your sack is pimply and red and itchy after 5 days at the Hamburg Harbor Tavern. He always took away my pain. The back. At first it was just a pulling in the spine or whatever the damn thing is called, but eventually it got really bad. The feet, that's what we call the doctor here. He pulled out his potions, and little did you know, I was standing straight on deck, like a young sailor's rod on the first entry into the golden corner at the port. You understand? When the pain comes back, I have the bottle in my hand, and everything is fine.
Hanno, I've told you this several times. Morphine is a very strong medication that should not be overused.
Just because it's called a bottle doesn't mean that I have to chug down your potions every time like a berserker. I can still just booze away any kind of pain like I always did before.
The combination of alcohol and morphine makes it even worse, Hanno. You have to be careful. You don't want it to lead you to your grave.
Gentlemen, could we please return to more pleasant topics? Tell me, Mr. Schmidt, what do you do for a living? Wow, that sounds exciting. You must experience a lot. I must admit, I'm almost a bit intimidated when I come face to face with a man of your caliber. Your profession definitely sounds very attractive when you put it that way.
Then why don't you just tell us what you do, Kirsten? You're a similar expert in your profession, like our Mr. Schmidt here.
I support seafarers in Hamburg in coping with various stress and crisis situations. Additionally, I care for the souls of the elderly, sick and lonely. My job is tough. So I'm taking a few days off to visit my sister Stina. I'm considering changing professions. Also, being at the coast brings me closer to my family in the Netherlands again.
The captain burps audibly.
I just want to quickly come back to the crew. It just disgusts me. Don't you know that? Schmidt, you! Sometimes you think it might be the easiest thing to just fall into...
Mid-sentence, the captain suddenly rolls his eyes and stares at the ceiling at an unnatural angle for a moment. His hands move to his chest as he suddenly collapses inward and loses consciousness, hitting the plates in front of him.
Holy Mary! Is he dead?
For heaven's sake! Now it's really time. I just said it. One of you must fetch my doctor's bag. Quick!
My heart. I can't. I need to smoke first. My nerves are about to shatter. I'm leaving. I can't bear to watch this.
Schmidt, you fetch the bag. Hurry up! My cabin is on the lower deck. Just follow my vomit. Unpleasant story. Fermented coffee cream and leftover herring. But never mind. At the end of the vomit you will find healing. Just do it.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
His breathing is very slow and his pupils hardly react at all.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse. A place to make new contacts and round off the evening. A place to make new contacts and round off the evening. A young man is standing next to the bar counter.
Good afternoon, dear sir. I am Emil. What can I get you? Pulled crabs, peeled prawns, crabs in a roll, rum, tea, crabs and rum, crabs and tea, cake with or without a shot, whatever you want. I'm afraid I don't have that.
Angekommen sind, dann habe ich uns erstmal einen schönen gerögerten Fisch.
The boat boy takes care of the lower deck.
Sure, you can go back there where the door is, but don't slip on the vomit.
The burly man stands in the steering cabin and holds the rudder.
Moin moin. Wait a minute. Look at me.
His gaze seems to pierce your eyes and aim directly at your deepest soul. You either have luck or you don't. Give it a try. You see, it works brilliantly. And if it doesn't work out, you can use skill points to compensate. But if they're used up, then you lost. That's called bad luck. He searches within you for a significant truth that contradicts your earthly perceptions. Here is a man at work who is on a quest.
Man, those mosquitoes are annoying again today. Aha! You might be the chosen one. They say here on the ship that at some point a real host will show up. But you don't seem to be the person. Now that we have that cleared up, I am Piepenbrink's Hermann, but you can also call me Hermann Piepenbrink, or just Piepenbrink. Just call me Piepenbrink. That saves the words and me ears. If you think you have to do it, do what you want. At least you're not a host. That already makes it a lot better. What's up?
Miss Van Groot paces up and down restlessly.
Oh, it's unbearable. I urgently need my cigarettes from my handbag. Oh, I just can't find the bag. What a misfortune. Please find the bag. It must be somewhere in the middle deck. Cigarette. I need a cigarette. Did he not mention something about feeling nauseous and leaving a vomit trail? Ah, you better take another look around the dining table.
Miss Van Groot paces up and down. The man is currently repairing some things at the rear part of the ship.
My boss. Say, can you hold the steel gutter here for 10 minutes, please? Nah, that was a joke. You can't do that, of course. Are you overestimating yourself a bit, huh? Just wanted to see if you're a real man or just, well, your hairstyle and all. No idea. That was bad. Who laughs at something like that? Do you know what the better punchline would have been? Koga's mother's dead. oh boy, your sense of humor is really something, I must say. Do you know what else is really something? Yes, man. I'm Knut Binge. I'm the man for the iron, and you? Uh-huh. It's all quite simple. Cabins below, feasting and cabin in the middle, and tanning your ass on the upper deck.
You are standing in front of a door that says workshop. This is where the trace ends. This must be the doctor's cabin. Picking up the bag is accompanied by a clinking noise. Immersed in the worry that you might have broken something, you realize on second thought that the clinking noise might not have come from the bag at all. Your worst suspicions fortunately do not come true. Everything is still in the bag. Joyfully realizing this, you hold the stethoscope in your hands, almost trophy-like, as the truth manifests itself in the form of a reflection on its surface. A sea of flames makes its way through the cabin door into the interior. Flames lick directly in front of the door, and the smoke fills your lungs. Flames lick direct. You discover an old book on the small table. It's titled Dangers of Seafaring and was written by a certain Knutbert Knudsen. The work is full of presumption, self-love, and arrogance. For a moment, you think to yourself. In the back of the book, some notes stick out between the pages. Evidently, they are a collection of various blueprints and recipes that were loosely enclosed with the work. One recipe catches your eye due to its absurdity: the rope-bucket combination. You think to yourself, a simple stool. The stool appears to be made extremely simply. Although everything around you is going up in flames, you can't help but have a thought. A thought of home. Slowly but surely, the rising heat drives away your thoughts. However, an intense, deeply rooted fear of death sets in. You let the stool shatter under your fist with the uncompromising severity of Bavarian bureaucracy. A chair leg lies in front of you, the perfect object to strike something with. The window of the cabin is blocked with crates from the outside. Thick glass fills the frame. The pane shatters and the way out is clear, theoretically. However, there is practically no room for a body, as almost everything is covered with crates. Climbing out is not an option, but the water is within reach. You could reach it with a piece of equipment. Your hands, holding the bucket, stick out of the broken window. It worked! You have a bucket of water. The water should be enough to extinguish the fire. Flames lick directly in front of the door and the smoke fills your lungs. There is no way through the flames without help. At the end of your mental strength, exhausted and slightly smoke-poisoned, you stand before the flames. One movement, one action, that's all that remains to be done. The flames are reflected in your red eyes as you prepare for the final action and... The water hits the fire with utmost precision. The flames fade away and the nightmare is over. A broken glass bottle lies on the floor. The clinking seems to have revealed its origin. In your ongoing conversation with the remnants of the bottle, two things become clear to you. First, the bottle doesn't actually have a face. You're just grumbling at your own reflection in the shards. Second, carbon monoxide poisoning can trigger potential hallucinations. It looks like the face in the bottle is nodding understandingly back at you. You feel like you hear a "it's okay" from the bottle. The way the shards are scattered on the ground leaves no doubt that it was thrown with great force. The smell of alcohol explains the origin of the fire. Someone acted intentionally here. You suddenly hear footsteps behind you. One of the ship employees comes running up and throws his hands in the air.
By the Hobgoblin! What has happened here? Clemens. Eric Clemens. I'm the one for the dirty work. Accuse me? You got to be kidding. I'm the poor sort who has to clean up this whole inferno here. The captain will punch me in the face if he finds out. What do you mean by that? You have no right to tell me what to do here, understand? Who are you anyway? Yes, and who is left again with all this mess? Me. Just look at my hands, cloused witnesses of the two-class society. Makes sense?
Eric shrugs and proceeds to inspect the ground. The boat boy stands in the hallway and cleans the walls and the carpet.
Moin.
The boat boy takes care of the lower deck. The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Excellent, thank you. I cannot promise that I can save the captain, but I will do everything within my power. I don't have much with me, so we need to reach land quickly. For heaven's sake! Is the ship on fire? Thank God. What a heroic deed. That could have been our ending. How did the fire start? That sounds like an outrageous attempt to stop you, or even me. I'm afraid something is not quite right here. While you were getting the bag, I continued to inspect Kroger. Despite his alcoholism and physical ailments, he's a tough man with a strong body. From a medical point of view, it is naturally possible that alcohol is to blame. But I have known and treated this man for quite some time now. Alcohol does not kill him. Therefore, I'm thinking of an attempted murder. It would be a possibility. What do you think? Exactly. I will stay by his side. Please, quickly, get the morphine from the captain's cabin. It's the door with the steering wheel, just behind the large bar. I found the keyring in his jacket pocket. Take it. He stores the morphine in a large wooden chest. Let's hope it improves his condition. Very good. You would make a good assistant, Doctor. I can't say, but of course I will do everything within my power. Your help is of great importance to save his life. Be careful and look around everywhere. You must be vigilant. And now, off you go.
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse. Poems and songbooks for cultural evenings. Poems and songbooks for cultural evenings. This bar doesn't seem to serve any purpose at the moment. A teacup, still nearly full. You may not have a Frisian tea nose, but even you can tell that there's something wrong with this tea. A thought comes to mind, so absurd that you do not want to finish thinking it. In this tea, there is not only tea, but also a yellowish body fluid. You shudder, gag, and banish the thought. Impossible! However, your stomach says something else, as slight nausea creeps in. The kitchen is closed. The keys are dusty. Nobody has played here for a long time. The restaurant is quite spacious. You could easily organize parties and banquets in it. The stationery features delicate artistic pencil drawings. They show nature motifs. The flowers look surprisingly healthy. You are standing in front of the door to the captain's cabin. When you put the key in the lock, the door just opens. But the captain said about the door that... Exactly. He has to keep the doors locked. But why is the door open now? Clearly visible scratch marks can be seen on the door lock. Someone has gained unauthorized access here. You are standing in front of the door to the captain's cabin. The conspicuous scratch marks are scattered around the keyhole. Did the captain really once steer this ship? Letters, bills, newspapers, notes. There is no recognizable order. An optical measuring instrument used for astronomical navigation at sea. An optical measuring instrument used for astronomical navigation at sea. Numbers are written on the paper, evidently sums of money that Ahayo Clemens owes to the captain. There is a big chest in front of you. When you try to open the chest with one of the keys from Kroger's keyring, you realize that the lock is blocked by something, and the lid can be easily lifted. In the chest are alcohol bottles with different fill levels. You quickly realize that the morphine is not in the chest. A sticky, medicinal-smelling stain reveals where the bottle must have stood. The golden decorated lock shows clear signs of wear. A piece of wire is stuck in the lock. There is a big chest in front of you. The piece of wire is jammed in the lock. Your fingers are too fat. There is a big chest in front of you. The piece of wire is jammed in the lock. There is lipstick on the edge of the glass. A young man is standing next to... The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
God beware, I knew something was wrong. And now a break-in? I'm convinced that someone has tried to harm the captain. But why the morphine? Where is it now? It's not to be trifled with. This medicine must be taken in a controlled manner. Schmidt, you have to find the bottle. But hard to believe. The captain collapses, a fire and a break-in. You must figure out what's going on here, Schmidt. Listen around. If my suspicions are correct, we should find and apprehend the culprit before this ship docks at the harbor. Fabulous! That's what I wanted to hear. I'm glad you're taking care of this. The captain mentioned his helmsman, Piepenbrink. Hopefully he can tell you something about the crew. I'm curious to see what hidden clues your detective skills will uncover. Please, contact me immediately if you find out anything. Good luck!
The doctor checks Captain Kroger's pulse.
Spit it out.
The doctor checks Captain